Welcome back to the Traders Network. I'm Michael Yorba, your host. Thanks for joining us. We're also streaming to you live on yorbamedia.com. Okay, Nick Santiago, President and CEO of In the Money Stocks. Who else to turn to when the things start hitting, well, when the proverbial blank, blank, blank hits the fan, like with Apple. What's going on, Nick?
Hey, Michael. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, today Apple's getting having a little bit of a sell-off, I'd say. I think your traders want to watch a little bit lower down here, around 425. That's where a short-term bounce could be. After that, believe it or not, the stock's next major support level for a bounce or even some sort of bottom would be around the 390 level. So I think traders want to watch that going forward. Right now, I do think, though, that it probably has a date with the 425 level over the next couple of days.
Okay. All right. Well, is there any fundamentals on what happened here?
Oh, sure. I mean, there's fundamentals involved. Not that we need them or use them, but, bottom line is they just can't grow at the rate they were growing at, and they were priced to perfection. And that's over now. And, we saw that, go back months ago in September when I was on your program, even in August, and I said, hey, this thing looks like it's ready to top out. I think on your show I even said 465 is a potential downside target over the next 3 to 4 months, and sure enough, we're there. So, I can't get overly bearish on the stock now at this stage of the game. I think 4.25 would give you a bounce. 390 though, I actually like the stock here for a trade, a decent trade. So, this stock should be traded, and that's all it should be. It shouldn't be a long-term hold. Its glory days are probably over for now. We'll see if they can reinvent themselves. I'm not really in that camp that they can.
Got it. Okay. What about the GLD, this Gold Spiders Trust?
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about GLD. Actually, we did elaborate on it last week when I was on your program, and what I did say was that traders, again, getting very bullish gold. Gold is just not ready for the breakout yet, and I think we still need to see further downside before gold can put in that real good pattern and make a substantial move to the upside. So I would consider looking at the GLD around the 154 level, around the 155, around there. I think that's where you get really attracted to this. Up here around the 160s, just leave it alone. Today it's selling off pretty sharply. Spot gold is down around $20. Just let this thing pull back in. It will give you an opportunity a little bit later. Don't try to force the gold trade just because all these central banks are printing money. We don't know what they're doing in the gold market. So, again, let the charts tell us what to do.
Okay, and silver, SLV?
Silver's pretty much the same exact thing as gold. I really think it's just the poor man's way of playing gold. Again, silver right now is trading, around the $30 area. I think it's okay there, but it can still pull back around $28. Though it really looks very, very attractive.
Okay, all right. You wanted to talk about the GDX?
Yeah, I want to talk about GDX because this is the gold miners, and sometimes the gold miners do not trade along with the metals themselves. The GDX looks actually horrible on the daily chart. The weekly chart is just continuing to sell off. I think traders want to focus on this one around $40. I think that's where you're going to get a nice bounce trade. And even if you get it at 38, it would be even better. But those are levels where I'm looking to get involved on the long side of the GDX.
Okay. All right. UGA.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the UGA. This is something I really don't bring up much, but I think it's important because if you take a look back on a daily chart of the UGA, this is the United States Gasoline Fund. It's a gasoline ETF, basically, so it tracks the price of gasoline. In September, which was around the 12th, this traded up around $62, and as you know, the market topped out on the 14th. The market also made a little bit of a double top in October, and the UGA traded right around that $62 level on October 10th. Look where the UGA is again right now. It's at $60.45. It's basically about a buck and a half away from that $62 level again, and I think that's where traders got to watch because we are susceptible to market corrections when gasoline becomes too expensive in this country. And I think that this rally that we've had since the fiscal cliff news is a little bit long in the tooth, and I think traders need to watch this UGA when it gets to around 62. That's a good level for the overall stock market, including the S&P and the Dow Jones Industrial Average, to start to come back in, and we're not really far off that now.
Okay, so we're real close to it. All right, I've never seen this one out of you before. UNAN.
Let me see. What was that one again, Michael?
UNAN.
Oh, yeah, this is Nuance. Actually, I wanted to bring this up because I received an email from a listener of yours, and from time to time, I try to answer these. So I figured today I would answer this one on the air, and they said, where would be a good level to buy the Nuance, the stock Nuance Communication? This is the company that makes that Siri device, the talking device in the Apple iPhone. Right now, you have two levels that you got to watch for. One, which would be a nice bounce level, would be around the 2140 level, and then after that, it would be $17. So I think you could look for a bounce around 2140. If that level fails at some point after the bounce, then you look down there around $17.
Okay, all right, and I misspoke. It's NUAN, right?
Yeah, NUAN. I should have known.
Okay, okay, got it. $17, huh?
Well, I think that would be your secondary, but I do think that stock has a bounce in it around the 2140 level.
Okay, all right. Last but certainly not least, what about the stock market rally? We've got a lot of people saying 1,500 and cycle. I got a cycle day today. I don't know. Let's hear what you think.
Well, I'm thinking that we're susceptible to a pullback at any stage, at any point here. The 1,500 level on the S&P is obviously a big psychological whole round number, so that's very, very important. And you could see the market today went up there, tested that level, and then it pulled back a little bit. But the trading volume that we've been dealing with over the past, I'm going to say since the start of the new year, has been somewhat on the anemic side. It's been very, very light. There's an old market adage that states never short a dull market. So I think when you get a little bit of volume coming back into this market, that's when you would take a look at shorting this market across the board, because it is long in the tooth, it is overdone. Symmetrically, it doesn't have much more to it, but as long as you have this light volume involved right now, I would not rule out a little bit higher from here.
Okay, all right. Now, I saw some interesting action today. I was looking at the NASDAQ earlier, and it gapped lower, and then they bought it, and it came back. And I think probably part of the pullback was Apple's move. But what's your thoughts there on the NASDAQ? I mean...
Well, to be honest, the NASDAQ is actually lagging the S&P and the Dow, so that's never a good sign. That's always a sign that there could be a correction around the corner. You always want to see the NASDAQ lead because that's where the risky assets are. Most NASDAQ stocks don't pay dividends like the Dow Jones Industrial Average or the S&P 500 stocks do. So overall, anytime the NASDAQ is lagging, that's always a warning sign. Now, today, you're absolutely right. The NASDAQ came back a little bit. NASDAQ futures also rallied back a little bit. But, they're still down and the Dow is still up. And I look at that divergence, and that's always a warning sign for me. And that's something I always tell my listeners and subscribers to always be careful whenever they see that. And that is taking place today.
Got it. All right. Do you have any events coming up for our audience?
Yes. This Saturday, we do have an advanced cycle webinar coming up. So if anybody's interested in that, please give us a call or come over to the website at InTheMoneyStocks.com. It'll probably be about a 3 or 4 hour event. But we're going to show traders exactly how we pinpoint the turning points in the market and how they'll be able to do it themselves.
What are you going to show them with? Stocks, commodities?
Everything.
Everything.
Stocks, commodities, Forex, makes no difference. If we could chart it, we could do it with our own lives.
All right, sounds good. All right, one last time, web address, and we're out of here.
Okay, InTheMoneyStocks.com. Come over, take a 7-day free trial. You got nothing to lose.
You got it. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, Michael. Have a great day.
You too. Everybody, Nick Santiago, President and CEO In The Money Stocks. This guy's been threading the needle on the show since we got started. We'll be right back on the other